Hello there. This is Sherry coming to you live from Salt Spring Island in British Columbia. It is February 1st, right after the super full moon and blue moon and full moon lunar eclipse that we had. So we are moving forward in February here. I am a transformational life coach who does Akashic record readings and psychic tarot readings for people who also do medical intuitive readings. Today I want to talk about the chakras. And the chakras are energies or wheels of light. And there are 7 major ones that I'll talk about today, but there are a whole bunch of little ones in the body. There's a bunch in your hands, and there's a bunch in your feet, and there's some outside of the body. Many of them line up with your acupuncture points. And so they are an old concept, we'll say. And so I'm going to go through the main 7 with you and explain kind of what they are and what they affect. And so the first one I want to talk about is your root or base chakra. I'm using cards right here that are showing the chakras from John Holland's Psychic Tarot for the Heart. And so the root or base chakra is at, think of it being a ball of energy that is at the base or root of your spine. And this is a number 1 in numerology, so think about it as being new beginnings and thinking about it as being birth. So when you are birthed, not necessarily birthed because that's number 2, but we'll get there. When you are birthed onto this planet and you're a little baby or you're an adult and your parents send you out in the world, the stuff that comes into play in the root chakra is, what do I need to survive on this human planet? I need a roof over my head. I need clothes to wear. I need food to eat. I need water to drink. I need money in order to purchase all of those things that I need. I need love, and I need comfort and compassion, and some of those root-based things that you need, those are all based on the root chakra. So if you don't have enough money to pay your bills, if you're not feeling grounded in human life, if you have a whole bunch of headaches, you're likely not grounded, and you may have issues with connecting into the actual planet. So that's basically what the base or root chakra is. If you are out of whack in this area, you could have issues with money. You could have issues with being capable and able to receive all of the things that you need in a baby, as a baby coming into this world, or as a human. Again, I said like a 20-something going out into the planet and just starting out and getting their first job and being able to get themselves on their own 2 feet. If you are not able to create or feel not deserving of or worthy of, then there could be issues with your root chakra. If you have issues moving forward, so issues with the legs and anything that has to do sometimes with the hips, but the hips can be sacral, which is the next one. A hummingbird just came up to the feeder up there. You see that? And so that would be number 1, base or root chakra issues. And the color of this is red. And so if you want to actually envision this chakra as being more balanced and as being more complete and as being more healthy and nurturing, then you actually want to picture, what I do is picture a red globe or a red ball that's about this big, and it's actually sitting around the area of my tailbone. And this particular chakra actually faces down, so it actually can draw energy up from the earth, and it can take energy out of your body and release it back down. So that is the base or root. The second one, obviously named number 2, because in numerology, when we start to interact as a baby with our family, with our world around us, then baby starts to interact not just with its own little world, but baby starts interacting with things that are outside of itself. So this is the area of the womb and the sexual area in people, but it is also about creativity and interacting with your closest relationships. So if you have issues in your closest partnerships, your closest relationships with family members, with very close friends, with your intimate partners, then you may have issues with your second chakra or sacral chakra. This is also where you actually birth your businesses and you birth your creativity and you birth your ideas. So it's this womb of birthing and creation. And if you have issues with your hips, if you have issues with your lower digestion, if you have issues with creativity, then there could be issues with your actual sacral chakra. So in order to help this area, and the color of it is like bright orange. I'm not sure if you can actually see that well on this card. It kind of looks a little bit yellow, but it's actually orange, like the color orange, like an orange that you would eat. So in order to balance this area, what I think of is a glass ball that has a light in it that's actually like exuding this color orange, and it's like vibrating this color orange. So chakras are meant to interact, and they're meant to actually pass energy through one another. So if you have a block at a particular chakra and the energy is not flowing through, then you could have issues with money, but it's actually caused by a block in the chakra further up. Or if you're feeling like you're getting headaches all the time because you're not grounded, you could actually have an issue with the block again at a chakra further up. And I'll explain that a little bit later, but that is what the second is. So it's your birthing area. It's your interaction with your closest relationships. It's the womb. And that would be, if there was an issue with that chakra, then you could have physical conditions in the body related to that area. The next one we have is the solar plexus. The solar plexus is our confidence and our personal power and our strength. And this is higher up in the digestive system. So this is usually about us not digesting things in life well, and that could be on a mental, emotional level or on a physical level. But this yellow chakra, the third one, is about our personal power, our confidence, our strength, our ability to lead. And if you think about a child being brought into a relationship, they are now trying to put on their own clothes and picking their own things and saying, I do, I do, I do. So they're actually moving into their own little confidence and their own little world. And this is one of those chakras where those of us who are meant to lead and those of us who are meant to empower ourselves and other on the planet often have issues. If you have issues with authority, then you could have issues at that chakra. If you do have issues with digestion physically or with your ability to take a complete breath, then sometimes, because the diaphragm is up at that sort of that level, the diaphragm would be right at the top of where the solar plexus sits. This is closer to the belly button, but still it has connection to most of the digestive organs, so how we digest life, how we move through life in a way of confidence and I can do it and I'm empowered. That is what the third chakra is about. The fourth chakra is a heart, right in the center of your chest. And this is bright green. And so many people actually think of this as giving, 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 giving. And the interesting thing about the heart chakra is it's connected to the arms, and it's connected to both arms because you have two. So your right side, unless you're left-handed and things may be switched for you, your right side is your giving masculine side, and most people are so good at this, and your heart chakra is very, very good at this, and your receiving side on the left is not so good at this. So if you are not a great receiver, then I suggest that you actually add pink to this when you think about that glowing ball that is in the center of your heart that you're filling with green light, in order to cleanse and clear this. So 4 is a very grounded number. It is very balanced between the giving and the receiving. 4 is a very masculine number because most people do have a tendency to give more than they receive. The interesting thing, again, about the heart chakra is if we have a tendency to be not confident, or in physical life, we actually are on the computers. We're driving, watch my shoulders. We're on our cell phones. So we actually have a tendency to close off our heart. And we can be giving and giving and giving, but we're not necessarily doing it in a heart-centered way. We're more doing it in a, I'm obligated, I have to do something to pay the bills and make some money. Then we tend to be closed off in that area, and then emotionally we're not open And then that can connect down, all the way down through our confidence, because we're not open and we're walking around in the world like this. And then we're not able to birth our creativity, and we're not connecting in with relationships, and then we're not actually getting in and moving forward and flowing with the money and the ability to move forward on a physical sense. So many people actually are imbalanced through the heart chakra, partly because they give way more than they allow themselves to receive. So we have an imbalance here, but also because many of the things we do physically are very routine and they block us off. So many people actually need to open their heart chakra and connect into their emotions and get out of their head. That's what number 4 is about. And again, it's connected to the arms. The 5th chakra has to do with your throat. If you have any thyroid conditions, if you're a people pleaser, if you feel guilty not giving, if you are obligated to give but you don't say anything, if you have relationships where you are resenting that you're overgiving but you're not allowing yourself to receive, then often it's associated with that throat chakra. For myself, I've healed an autoimmune condition of the throat. I had an overactive thyroid, and what that meant was, when will it be my turn? So I have always been an amazing listener, and your ears and some of your like jaw issues and teeth issues are all connected to that throat, and some of the sinuses as well are all connected to that throat thyroid area. So if you're listening and listening and listening and listening to everyone else, but you're not allowing yourself to speak your truth, or it could be in the reverse, that you're actually like coughing and barking at people, but you're not feeling heard, then you could have issues going on with the throat chakra. And if you are overgiving and overgiving and overgiving and under receiving, then often this is connected to the solar plexus. So people who have throat conditions are often, they have issues with authority. They don't want to speak their truth, or they have issues with the heart chakra in the sense that they can actually write things very well, but they can't actually speak. So they may be having issues with their closest relationships, which is then the 2nd chakra. So I think you can tell as I start opening up these how they are all connected and how the energy is meant to actually flow through all of them. So in order to open up the throat chakra, you want to start creating boundaries. You want to stop people pleasing. You want to make yourself as important as everyone else. And then all of the chakras below this start to actually get balanced, and you feel more confident, and you feel more complete in your creativity and your closest relationships, and then you can allow money to come if you are not allowing it. So they are definitely all connected. And so this chakra is about speaking your truth, and you want to picture that globe in there, filling it with beautiful blue sky light, and allowing that to permeate, and then allowing all of the other chakras to actually connect and communicate together. The next chakra is your 3rd eye, and the 3rd eye is number 6. It is in between and just above your eyebrows, and this is about really connecting into you at a deeper inner level. So many of us are either all in our head, not necessarily in our intuition, but more in our logical brain. So we tend to actually be sort of outside of the body and like a bobbing head around. And we're not actually connecting into what we want. So we're not connecting into our intuition. We're not paying attention to the signs and symptoms around us that are saying, hey, slow down, you're going to get a ticket. Or, you need to do this weekend. So tell that person that you can't go to that event because you actually need to rest. And if you rest, then it will expand your creativity and you'll feel better. So many people are disconnected from this area. But that's what that 3rd eye is. It's about connecting inside to yourself and your deepest desires, and also about pulling things through from past lives. And people often channel books and things from their past lives and past experiences through that 3rd eye. And if it's not open and expansive, then you're not connected to your deeper, higher self, which means that you're not bringing that part of you into the planet. You're more just a body moving through and doing things rather than an actual person contributing and connecting in a way that is more purposeful and passionate. So again, you can use that glass ball, picturing it here, filling it with that beautiful indigo light. Often this chakra is an indigo, which is a really darker blue. The throat tends to be like a lighter, more sky blue. And so people often just call this one purple, which is fine. But it's more of a dark purple rather than a violet purple. So imagining it here, imagining it flowing with energy and circulating, and then again, imagining it connecting to all of the chakras that go down all the way down to the base and back up again. And some people actually have issues at the third eye that connect to confidence, and at the third eye that connect to creating your passion and purpose in the world through that creative center. So connected there as well. The last chakra in the group of 7 is the crown. And the crown is our connection to our source, our connection to our divinity, our connection to God, to the universe, to all that is, our ability to see that we're not islands, that we are actually connected to everything around us. And because my belief is that energy, everything is energy, even though we're physical, we're still energetic. So on a cellular level, we're still a whole bunch of energy moving around in cells, and we actually, our energy is not created or destroyed, it just changes and transforms into different aspects of energy. So this crown chakra is about taking the energy of source and the energy of we are love and we are expansion and we are divine, and bringing it into the physical. So some people are actually stuck in this place where they're sort of above this, almost in the 8th chakra, like bobbly heads walking around the earth, and we're not connected through our chakras at all. But this is our ability to connect to everyone and see that we are all equal, that I am the same as Oprah. I am the same as the person who's running a business down the street. I am the same as the person who's working at the dollar store. We are all the same. We are all one. We are all connected. That's what this is, and it's about not just being connected with people, but I'm connected with the forest. I'm connected with this desk and this laptop, and I'm connected with the animals, and I'm connected with everything. So this is a we are all one, we are all love, everything is connected sort of energy. And the color of this, even though it does look very similar to this, in this deck it shows us pink because this is really much about we are love. Everything is love, so I can see why they actually chose pink as this color, because pink is the self-love color that I was asking you to bring into the heart. And this pink crown chakra, most people actually see the crown chakra as more of a diamond color, or more of like a white, or like a silvery bright white diamond, almost violet-y color. And so you can imagine any of those. If you need the self-love, then bring the pink into that. And otherwise, you can imagine it as a glowing diamond that is shining up, and it's at the crown. So it's basically at the top of your head, or touching the top of your head. So you would imagine a glass ball there, and you would imagine that glass ball filling with that light and expanding in order to open up that 7th chakra. So how I like to think about shifting energy and moving energy. So energy in the chakras, if they're not aligned, you can have all sorts of things going on in your life that make sense when you think about them from that energetic perspective of the chakras, but might not make sense from like a human perspective. So if you are thinking about, our chakras are never really totally 100% balanced. They could actually use a rebalancing every day. And that is something that I do with some of my clients, is connect in with you and let you know which chakras are out of balance by how much, whether they're overactive, because if I have an overabundant active heart, then it may be stealing some of the energy and power from the chakra below it. and it may be stealing some of the energy and power from the chakra above it. And so they can actually pull from one another, and really you want them all to be just about balance. But on this planet, and as part of our strengths and as part of our soul level about who we are as a soul, we tend to have a dominant or primary chakra that we lead with. And most people who haven't moved into that place of I'm on purpose, I'm passionate about what I'm doing, I love what I'm doing, I'm thriving in all areas. Most people actually have a block or a continued block, so even if it gets balanced, it gets reblocked in the same areas in the chakra that they are meant to lead with. And so it's interesting, excuse me, for me, I had issues with my throat chakra, but my main is actually 7. So my main is actually to teach people that we are all connected, that we are all source energy. And my second main energy, because we have more than one energy, obviously, that is that we tend to move forward with, that we have strengths and characteristics that we bring through lifetimes. And my second one is actually the third eye. And so it's very interesting how I am very in my head with the chakras for me that are my primary and secondary, and how I used to have a ton of headaches when I was a kid. Like my whole family, almost my whole family had a lot of headaches. Many times you would catch one of us sleeping on the bathroom floor because we had a headache, and the bathroom floor was kind of cold and kind of hard, and it would often, if you have headaches, it upsets your stomach, and so the nausea comes in, and lying on the bathroom floor just made it feel better for some reason. But because I was leading with these chakras, and I wasn't in this place of opening up my third eye back then and of being connected to a source, I wasn't even sure if I believed in a godlike source at that time. So no wonder I had so many headaches. But that was actually connected. And now that I am more grounded and I'm balanced and I do chakra clearing and cleansing on a more regular basis, then I feel so much better. I got rid of my thyroid condition when I did a whole bunch of boundary stuff, and I changed my diet, and I had issues with authority as well, and issues where I had to write conversations many times with the closest people in my life. So I wasn't balancing my closest relationships, and my creativity wasn't where I wanted it to be. And so chakras are really interesting. So if you are interested in learning more, if you're interested in having a chakra balancing session, then I can do that for you, and then I can let you know what chakra you lead with, which is amazing to know. And it's amazing to know if a chakra is out of balance, what that is meaning and probably presenting in your current life. So the idea of doing a chakra cleanser balance on your own would literally to be finding a comfortable space. And maybe this is walking in the forest. Maybe it isn't lying or sitting down, because not everyone does their visualizations and their meditations the same. What you want to do is start with that base chakra and allow that globe or ball. I like to use a clear globe and actually fill it. And fill it up with that color. So you'd be filling up that ball at the tailbone with red in order to cleanse that root chakra, and you would allow that connection from the earth into that red ball to actually weave. And then you would do the same thing with the orange ball in the sacral area or womb area. So even if you're a man, you actually have the chakra in the same area. It's slightly above where your womb would be, but definitely below your belly button. And again, you would actually picture that ball, filling it with orange light. You would picture it connecting and weaving all the way down towards and out into the earth and back up through the orange and the red. And then you would do the same thing. You would move up to the solar plexus, which is right underneath the heart, underneath the rib cage, above the belly button, where your stomach is, your high stomach and your digestive area. Picturing that glow, picturing the yellow, picturing the energy, and again, allow it to flow. So you'd actually take that energy and allow it to come up from the earth, going through the orange and through the yellow and back down. So you're weaving it. I mentioned earlier that the base chakra actually faces down. The other chakras, 2 through 6, so sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, and third eye actually face forward and back. So you can have issues with the future and you can have issues with the past connecting in with the energy in these chakras and their flow. And then number 7 actually faces up towards source to bring the light in. So you're bringing the light in one place, and in the base chakra, you're allowing it to go down. So we got up to the solar plexus. You're seeing those balls and those globes filling with a different colored light. You're doing the same thing at your heart, paying attention to how big it is, because if you're over giving, then your heart chakra ball could appear like it's this big, and you want to actually try to balance that and see if you can get some of the energy from it to move down into the solar plexus if it was feeling smaller, and up into the ball into the throat if it was feeling smaller, so you can actually balance that yourself and actually see the energy flowing. And then you want to do the same thing with that area at the third eye here. And you actually fill up a glass ball with that indigo, like dark purple light. And again, allow it to go all the way down through that root and back up into the ground, pulling energy from the ground and back up. So you're weaving the energy through the different colors. And you're doing the same thing as you get up to the top. This glass ball is actually pulling white or very violet light from source, from all that is, all the way down. You can weave it like a staircase as well, as the energy goes all the way up and all the way down and all the way up and all the way down. So one thing that we do as humans is like we hoard, and we actually like can block things. So if you're not speaking, then you're blocking things here, and the energy here is going bump, 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 and it doesn't often close off completely. But what you would have is less flow going through there, but it still is a sense of bumping here and not going through the throat. And the same thing at the bottom. You're drawing the energy up from the bottom. It's going all the way up and it's bumping at the throat and going back down. So you don't have the same aspect of love and connectedness and intuition that you would if you were actually allowing it to go through all the way down into the ground, into the root and into the earth, and all the way back up. So that is the overall of the 7 main chakras. If you would like a clearing or a balancing of your chakras, if you would like to know where they are, then I will leave an email in this video so you can connect with me and I can share the information about that. And I can also share with you what chakra you tend to lead with, because if that is the one that you tend to close, then you know that you're not living on purpose. You know that you're not living in this place of passion and of motivation and inspiration, because the chakra that keeps getting closed is the one that is meant to be more powerful and more open for you more of the time. So I'd love it if you would share this and like it. I would love it if you would reply for a session if you're interested. And if you have any comments, of course, like questions and comments and anything else you'd like to share about the chakras or about how else you have, anything else that you've used to cleanse your own, I'd love to hear it. So you can email me at the email I provide. I look forward to talking to you soon. Namaste. Have a brilliant, beautiful day.